Heimir, you knew before you even named the squad that your captain, Seamus Coleman, would be missing and Will Smallbone as well. But to talk about Seamus for a minute, obviously his experience, but also his ability is going to be sadly missed, isn't it?
Yeah, his personality and his leadership is important always for this squad, and especially now in maybe in a long run of not getting results. It's more important to have him, but saying that as well, now he gives others a chance to step up and show leadership skills. So I think in that sense it's interesting to look at the squad, who steps up, who takes the leadership role, and maybe he says in the future, I'm the guy that we should be relying on. And yeah, I think, but he will always be missed when he's not. But he's close. I talked to him yesterday. He wanted to come and share experience and support the guys. But I think it's a good time just to see what others will do in their absence.
Will Smallbone was probably the best of the performers in the games against England and against Greece at home. So he'll be a big miss as well. If he plays at the weekend, is there any chance that you might reconsider and call him up if he does get an opportunity to play?
No, we're pretty certain that he's not going to play, and he hasn't played since we were last time together. So no, we're pretty sure he isn't. But we could obviously call him up if we need it and want it.
Let's talk about some of the big changes that you made then. Matt Doherty has been around squads for such a long time. Is it basically a case that you've dropped him and Jake O'Brien among your defenders?
It's because we want to see other players at this stage. Now I need to be thinking as well long term. And Seamus and Matt are our best, our most experienced fullbacks. But unfortunately they cannot play forever for Ireland, so we need to have a backup plan what and if it happens they cannot play. And given that next year 2025 we might end up in a group of 5 nations, then all the games in 2025 are official World Cup matches, so there's no time next year to do experiments. So for me I thought this is the kind of the only option we have to test who can do this job, who can do this position. So we're going to do some experiment now on that position and see what happens. But for me, I think it was better just to leave him out instead of having him on the bench. Just give him this week off. I tried to motivate it. Talked to him yesterday. Obviously, he's like all the players that I called yesterday that are not in the squad. He's not happy not to be with Ireland. He always wants to be here, but I ensured him that it's not like we are blocking him out. It's just that we need this camp to do some trials and testing.
From Jake O'Brien's point of view, though, he had a big money move to Everton. He's not getting game time there. Would you have preferred if he had stayed in France and was playing regularly in Europe?
Yeah, he was doing really well in France, but I understand his move, and it shows only that the money shows that they really wanted him. So I'm not afraid of his long term at the club. He's young, but it's good for him to be playing. And the same for him. We now selected Mark McGuinness, who has been playing really well for Luton every game. Not so different, a big guy, strong, aerially really superior, etc. So it just gave us an option to look at someone else.
And obviously he's young enough to be one for the future, but did you consider Shane Duffy and a recall for him playing every week for Norwich, and obviously a similar stature to young Mark McGuinness?
Yeah, exactly. And it's good to have, that's probably the position that we have abundance of good players. And if we would look for experience, Duffy is for sure in that category. And like I said, it's not, like I've said before, it's not a big difference between all these players. So, but we really like to get the connection, the partnership between centre-backs or centre-back defensive midfielder. We need to play these players together day in, day out, every chance we have. So hopefully, like I've said before, hopefully somebody just steps up and say, this is my position. Don't be looking out for other players. I'm going to use this chance now. in October to stake my claim and play for the rest of the next 20 years or the 10 years in the national team. So
I'll talk to you about the players that are in, but one other that is out is Callum Robinson, and obviously he's a confidence type player. He must have been very disappointed when you gave him the news as well.
Yeah, his big smile changed a little bit when I called him, but he understood, and I explained none of these players are left out, you know, forever. It's just now we want to see, or I want to see some other players, and he is picking up goals now, so that's good. Among other players like Tom Cannon as well. Yesterday he scored 4 goals.
So did that make you consider, should I put him in?
Unfortunately, we selected the squad before that game, but he is.
Would you consider calling him up maybe?
He is in our backup squad. What's it called? He is on a standby. So maybe there will be a chance for him. You never know. There's a lot of games now over the weekend, but if you score 4 goals in a game, you're hot. So no, it's good. I went to see him last week, and he's getting more minutes. Now he's getting the goals, and I'm happy when we are delighted for him and for Stoke as well to have scored so many goals.
Is it important to get out there and see the players? I know you've been watching. I mean, there's so many ways of watching football through Y-Scout and all sorts of things now, but what about actually going to the games and trying to, I know it's often difficult, but trying to meet the players either before or after matches?
Yeah, now the FIFA window come quick, so September, October, November, and that's the only 3 months that is close between the matches, so I need to be smart in how I use my time. And at this stage, like I've said before, it's more important for me to see more than the individual, just to get as familiar as quick as I can. So I'll try to use my time efficiently. But I did travel quite a lot now, especially last week and the week before, to see some matches, meeting some players. But I will do that more in the future. But now I'll send John right and left through England, and he is watching individuals and teams, but now I've more invested my time watching more than the less and more individual on the computer.
Have you sent any of your scouts to the Netherlands yet to see Troy Parrott, who's scored in Europe as well as in the Eredivisie?
No, but I've seen him play now the recent games, and he's really on fire. It's good. It's maybe not a strong league as the Premiership, but a goal scorer is a goal scorer, and he's doing it in the Europa League as well, so that's a good thing for us. And I know he didn't play for us last camp. Hopefully he's disappointed and want to show us now what he can do.
Josh Cullen is back, which has got to be good news because he was almost ever present when he was available. And Jack Taylor has been added to your midfield options. What in particular do you see as his potential?
Now, first of all, he's a young lad, and he is now in a bigger and bigger role at Ipswich. And I talk to the coaches, and they speak highly of him. And you see how he's used at Ipswich. He's now like an impact midfielder. When they need to change the game, he's put in. So a good dribbler, a good passer, good on the ball. So a guy that can really be an impact for us as well. And hopefully he will step up. I know it's been a long time since he was last in the national team, but a player like many others that has potential.
Liam Delap is his teammate at Ipswich Town, and Ipswich has a lot of Irish connection at the moment. Is there any possibility that he will be among us in the recent time to come?
I surely hope so. So him play now against Aston Villa. I was at the stadium seeing him score these 2 goals. Again, hot at the moment. But it's a guy definitely that I think will help us in the long run. Now it's always up to the player himself.
And is it the case that if he goes with the England under-21s that he's no longer available to us?
No, it's best for you to ask him, not me about that. But obviously we have expressed that we would probably pick him if he would be available.
Finally, Heimir, the 2 away games are going to be challenging. confidence is something you spoke about after the two defeats. This squad has very much your stamp on it, I would think. But what can you do in the short time between now and the games in camp to restore or to build on that confidence that you need?
So first and foremost, just it is more a meeting camp than a training camp. So this window and the next one in November are the shortest one that is available. So we play Thursday and we play a Sunday. And given that I think we have 7 players playing on a Sunday in their clubs, meaning that Monday is more or less off. We cannot do a training there, and then the Tuesday is the only training during the week that we can have. So we basically can have only one real training, and then it's a match day -1 on the stadium in Finland and match day -1 training in the stadium in Greece, and there you cannot work on tactical things. So basically we have one training session. So it's more about individual meetings, speaking to the players, trying to improve the basics and all the things that we need to do on the pitch. We need to do that on meetings. All our principles, sorry, I didn't find the word. All our principles, we need to just hammer that in, because I felt that it was better from the first game to the second game, and I hope we could continue, because it's a short distance between Camp 1 and Camp 2, and then Camp 2 and Camp 3. So I hope we can use this momentum to build on what we did last camp.
Do you feel Finland is more our level, and will you be trying mostly to work on the first of the double-header games?
No, it's similar teams in quality. I think the similar strength in both these squads. Finland is, I know them quite well. Finland is not so different from Greece. They have a little bit higher average age, so both of them have like 30, close to 30 years old. So these players have played together for a long time. They know the system inside out. They know each other inside out. So their tempo in everything, defending and attacking, is quicker than us. This is what I see like a big picture. But they're efficient team. So I would say about Finland, they're easy to analyze, but they are difficult to play against. But similar level, Finland and Greece.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck in both the games. I think the fastest way to confidence is goals and points. So we wish you the very best of luck in achieving that.
Thank you.